This is something. It's only for the greatest.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a louder, more emotional standing ovation than the one Jonathan Toews just received. It had been 1,013 days since Jonathan Toews last stepped onto the ice at the United Center, and when he finally did again, the moment felt bigger than hockey. The road back was anything but easy. Toews had spent years battling long COVID and chronic inflammatory response syndrome, conditions that drained his energy, weakened his immune system, and ultimately forced him to walk away from the game in 2023. His journey took him all the way to India, in search of healing, leaving his future uncertain and his career hanging in the balance. So when he signed with Winnipeg, everyone circled January 19th on the calendar immediately. And shout out to the schedule makers for making this game on January 19th. They understood the assignment. For Hawks fans, this night was everything you could have hoped for. During the first TV timeout, the building rose to its feet for a 3.5-minute ovation that felt like it would never end. The kind of moment that hits you right in the chest, enough to make a grown man fight back tears. The resume in Chicago speaks for itself. Over 1,067 games, Toews piled up 368 goals and 881 points. A Selke, a Conn Smythe, 3 Stanley Cups, a leadership award, 2 Olympic gold medals, a spot in the Triple Gold Club. But beyond the hardware, he built a reputation as one of the defining captains of his generation. The cornerstone who helped pull a struggling franchise back from the dead. Seeing him in a Jets jersey will always feel weird, but having him back in the NHL at all is something to celebrate. He just hit the 900-point mark, a milestone that felt inevitable years ago, and one he almost certainly would have reached sooner if not for the health battles that put his career on pause. In so many ways, this was a full circle moment. The captain returning to the place where his legend was born. The reception he got was nothing short of incredible. I don't think MSN Films would even exist without Jonathan Toews. Like so many others, he's a huge reason I fell in love with hockey the way I did. People forget just how dominant he was in his prime. The ultimate two-way weapon, lethal in the offensive zone, rock solid in his own end, the kind of player who could take over a game without needing the spotlight. I don't even need to start listing the clutch goals and overtime winners because we'd be here all day. But if you really want to understand how clutch Toews truly was, check out my hour-long documentary on the captain over on my main channel. I'll drop the link in the description and in the comments. The United Center was buzzing from puck drop to the final horn. Hawks fans brought the noise, and the team rode that energy to a much-needed win that snapped their 3-game slide. And standing tall in the middle of it all was Spencer Knight. The Blackhawks hadn't shut out Winnipeg since Scotty Darling pulled it off a decade ago back in 2016. He was dialed in all night, turning aside all 32 shots, including 11 high-danger chances, locking down his 3rd shutout of the season in dominant fashion. I thought Connor Bedard turned in one of his strongest performances since returning from injury. He's been impactful every night, but he was everywhere last night, flying through the neutral zone, creating off the rush, and constantly forcing Winnipeg's defense into scramble mode. On another night, he easily could have had a hat trick if not for Connor Hellebuck standing tall and the Jets defenders getting sticks in the right lanes. By the end of it, Bedard finished with 3 shots on goal, 8 total attempts, and 3 individual scoring chances. And while the puck didn't bounce his way all night, he still got the perfect finishing touch, burying the empty netter to put the game away. I also loved what we saw from the third line. Donato, Dickinson, and Mikheyev were solid all night. They opened the scoring, which ended up being the game winner, with Dickinson burying his 6th of the season, all well matched up against Winnipeg's top line, keeping them in check. With Andre Burakovsky sidelined, Oliver Moore stepped into a bigger role and didn't waste the opportunity. His ice time jumped, especially on the power play, and the difference was noticeable. His speed was a weapon, blowing past defenders, forcing them to chase, and drawing 2 penalties simply by creating separation and attacking with pace. When Moore gets moving, defenses panic. All in all, this was one of those nights that reminds you why hockey is the greatest sport on the planet. Emotional from start to finish. Who knows? Maybe seeing Toews back in the building sparks something in this group. Maybe it plants a seed for a late season Cinderella run. Is that wishful thinking? Probably. Some might even call it delusional. But we all know hockey has a funny way of writing its own stories. No matter what happens the rest of the way, this was a game you didn't want to miss. A moment in time you won't forget. That's gonna do it for this one, boys. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Hawks content all season long. Your support means everything and helps keep the channel growing. I'll catch you guys in the next one.